Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Every time you go away, you take a piece of meat with you. Every time you go away, do, you take a piece of meat with you. Have a pound of sausages and a chicken for a roast chicken dinner, some rashers and one little piece of steak for a frying in the morning with your eggs. Hey, welcome to episode 10. We are into double digits on this podcast. 10 episodes, which is crazy. As my dad warned me, he said, stop doing so many of them. You're going to run out of things to say. But as long as I can reimagine lyrics and put in all the delicious foods that I've been eating, I've been eating sausages, I've been eating a lot of eggs. There's been a hell of a lot of egg chat on this podcast. So I hope you like eggs. I hope you're not turned off by eggs. If so, then I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all the egg chat. Maybe I should put an explicit egg chat warning on these. Trigger warning. There will be multiple discussions of eggs, different type of eggs. Chocolate eggs, because it's Easter. It's Easter Sunday. It's a very quiet Easter Sunday in Dublin City. I haven't left the house now in a day and a half because I haven't needed to. I might go for a run later on at night when there's no one around and it's less stressful because I don't want to be a day jogger. I think if you're a night jogger, that's fine. There's not very many people around. I won't be jogging. I'll be just kind of walking fast, getting my heart rate going and keeping it up there, guys. That's what it is. It's like spinning plates, only you're keeping your heart rate going. But joggers and teenagers are the absolute worst people at the moment. I said it. It's been said by other people. Dave McSavage has been complaining about them on his Instagram page, and he's right. I 100% agree with him. Joggers are the fucking worst. Because the few times that myself and my lovely wife-to-be, Cara, have been walking around this fair Dublin town, joggers have been well within the 2 meter range. And the problem I have with that is that I'm constantly looking around and they're coming up quick. They're coming up behind you or to the side. And it's just, they run past you. And before you have a chance to even say, please step the fuck away from me, they're gone, leaving a trail of bacteria behind them, potentially infectious bacteria. Now, also, what has happened is someone I know, who I won't name because they don't want anyone to know that they have the coronavirus, but in case they'd be worried. But I know someone who has the coronavirus, so it has reached my circle of friends, unfortunately. Luckily, this person is feeling okay, just very, very tired, and this person has lost their sense of taste completely. Like, can't even taste sparkling water, which is horrific. Just enjoying the sensation of the bubbles on their tongue, that's all they're doing. And they said to me yesterday, I got an Easter egg from my aunt delivered to the porch, and I ate it, and it just tasted like nothing. It was like water in egg shape. And that's the fucking saddest thing I've ever heard, guys. That is ridiculous. I'm so glad I have a sense of taste. I just finished baking just about 20 minutes ago. I baked a delicious, even though I haven't eaten yet, I picked up the apple crumble top. It's a crumbly top, and then it's sliced apples, and then it's a sponge underneath. So it's like an apple crumble hybrid cake from Hyundai. The power of innovation. So just came out of the oven. My sister-in-law to be, who is maybe listening, Claire, if you're listening, I challenge thee. I slap you gently on the cheek with my oven glove in the time-honoured tradition going back to the 1600s of baking. Because the thing is, we're going to have a bake-off. When this is all over, it's building up to a bake-off. The trash talking has already begun. In the WhatsApp group, the trash talking has begun. Because I said, hey, when's this bake-off going to happen? Send a picture of my apple pie crumble hybrid. If you want to have a look at that, it'll be up on Instagram. Check out my Instagram page, at Edwin Sammon, EdwinSammon. Same name as the name of the podcast, except without the of knowledge. So, it's like, so Claire basically said, it's okay, I don't feel the need to compete. I'm comfortable with my ability, which is just loser talk. It's like, it's like someone who, it's like these lads who go, oh, I could make a better film than Reservoir Dogs, just if I had a chance. But it's all who you know in Hollywood. Yeah, that and talent, Brendan. So I said, well, Cara in the group said, sounds like loser talk. And Claire said, sure, if that makes you feel better. And it's just, so basically, I chimed in and said, you have to win the belt before you can retire undefeated. I thought that was pretty sassy. I was pretty proud of it, And then there's talk of wagering. So, money involved, pressure, putting the pressure on. And Claire said, I don't need a belt. I already have the crown. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. There's no baking crown. There's the Great British Baking Belt, which is one on that show. And then I have the Best Baker of All Time belt, the Butter Baking Belt. I'm trying to be as alliterative as possible. And, it's tough. It's tough when you're the best. It's tough when you're, the best baker, and then every punk worth his salt comes riding into town, and, every guy packing a whisk thinks they can take you down. And you're like, bring it on, like a Donkey Kong. So we've roast chicken on in the oven. We had sausages the other day. It's difficult when you're in isolation with just one other person. When it comes to baking, you want to bake stuff, and you want to bake, like a large amount of things, because recipes aren't for 2 people who never see anyone else. Recipes are for 6 to 12 people, maybe even more. And you just end up baking a big, massive cheesecake, and you have to sort of space it out over a number of days, because you'll just end up becoming a big balloon. And it's hard to get the exercise in. You just have to go at night, and then you're kind of tired from the whole day. But I've been waking up and having a routine and doing this podcast, and I hope everyone listening is doing okay, because I know some people are finding it difficult, and it is difficult. Edinburgh's been cancelled. I guess the comedy festival that happens at the end of July in the Ivy Gardens here in Dublin is probably going to be cancelled as well. I was supposed to go see Tom York in Berlin, and that's been cancelled. Guys, Berlin has been cancelled. They're just going to chip away at the edge of it and just push it out into sea. If that's even possible. I'm not too au fait with my geography. So there's a little bit of knowledge about me. I don't know anything about geography. So, guys, we're going to take a little break here. If you've got the fast forward button, you can just skip ahead. I think it's only like a 30-second thing. I think it's usually an ad for a Sky One show for the second season. I haven't even seen the first season. And I don't have the Sky, but I don't know if my dad's listening. It might be something you're interested in. It sounds like a detective thing. Jerry's a big fan of detective shows in Paradise. And, people get murdered, but it's in the Bahamas. So there's nice scenery while they're investigating a horrific murder. So, it's got everything you need in a drama. Anyway, guys, we're going to take a short break, and I'll be after. We'll all be after. Let's be after. Bye. Be back soon. And we're back. So, guys, listen. Here's the big news for today. Myself and Cara, as we are going to be a married couple, we are going to get a pet. Now, Cara already has a dog, Mr. Moses, who's the best boy. He's a chocolate Labrador. So if you've seen my Instagram, you probably have seen pictures of me with this chocolate Labrador. And he is a boisterous big boy. But the problem is that we live in an apartment. So we don't want to get a dog that's too big for the apartment. So we have to sort of open the door, and there's this massive dog there with these legs and hair, and we have to hack through the hair with a machete like we're jungle explorers. We don't want to do that. So a long time ago, when I was sick and I was in hospital, there was a lovely man who was in the ward with me, and we used to chat during the day, just to pass the time in between game shows on the TV, like Tipping Point. I don't know if you know about Tipping Point. It's this game show where people ask questions, but it's basically a big sort of science fiction, extra cool version of that game you play in arcades, where you put like 2p pieces in and they fall to the bottom, and then they push the other ones, and there's a big pylon at the edge, and you hope that they'll push them out and push them over, and you win a whole bunch of 2p pieces. Yay! Remember the fun of winning a whole bunch of change, and you'd have to walk home with it in a bag like a highwayman or a pirate. Simpler times, guys, simpler times. We'll get back to those times. Well, Tipping Point is basically that, but all the things are like red, and it's got a big light board, and it's like 50 times the size of those things. But yes, questions. It's actually quite enjoyable. Especially if you're in your hospital and you've got nothing else to do. But we used to talk about dogs. I talked about dogs and the best dog breeds with this man, who claimed to have owned nearly every breed of dog going. I didn't press him on this, but he talked about certain dog breeds that he didn't like, or he had problems with the dogs. And I'm not gonna reveal that shit here, because I don't want to have any negative stuff about dogs. I think all dogs are created equal. Obviously, some dogs are a little bit, like my mum, her friend had a dog, a King Charles Cavalier, and this was the dumbest dog I've ever encountered in my life. It was so inbred, it was like a sandwich. Copyright Danny O'Brien. It was as dumb as a sack of hammers, and half as useful. It just had a look on its face like, huh? All the time. You have floppy ears and whatever, but it just looked you don't want to look at an animal every day and go, my God, you're pathetic. You don't want that, because that's just going to turn you into a bad person. And come on. So his number one dog breed was a Bichon Frise. Bichon Frise, if people don't know, they're small, white usually. You see a lot of them around. My good friend Trevor Brown and his lovely wife Paula, they have a Bichon Frise. They had two Bichon Frises, but one of them sadly passed away. But he said just temperament. They're very friendly. They're good with people. They're good with other dogs. They're very floofty, and I don't mind that. But I don't like a white dog is like a white car or a white pair of trainers. Very hard to keep clean, and you can't just be throwing it in the dog wash every 3 days. You have to. And I just look. I don't like the optics of it. Basically, that's what I'm saying. I'm being very shallow, and I'm saying I don't like the optics of having a dirty white dog. But I like a brown. There's brown Bichon Frises, which I've actually never seen a brown Bichon Frise. But they're perfect for an apartment. They're hypoallergenic. They don't shed that much. They're lovely. And I've spent a lot of time with Trevor and Paula's dogs. And yeah, they're a great breed. So if anyone knows, because I think, I'd love to get a rescue dog, and maybe in the future I can rescue dogs. Maybe I could foster dogs, possibly. But it all depends. And this is all, like when I said it to my dad, in an email he said, just be careful. Like a dog is a living, breathing thing that, needs to be looked after. And I was like, yeah, I'm aware a dog is a living, breathing thing. But I haven't had a dog, and I've wanted a dog for years, for decades, lads. I had a dog when I was about 13, 14, I think. And he was a lovely thing. My dog was a terrier, and he had a kind of a gingery fur about him. And it sounds like I can barely remember him. I know he liked long autumn walks, and he preferred the music of Steely Dan. He always used to bark and bop around when I played that. No, I had him for a wee while, and then my mother decided. I got him when he was a pup. I bought him for I think it was £50. Well, I didn't buy him. My parents bought him. When I got paid at the end of the month, I used to work in the mines as a child, because I could squeeze into some of the caves and tunnels. No, my parents obviously paid for the dog, and I had him for like a month or so, maybe a little bit longer. And then Mum was like, "You're not taking care of that dog. I'm going to give him away to a farmer," and she did, and I was heartbroken. But I forgave her eventually. Last week, I finally found it in my heart to forgive my mother, and she said, "What are you talking about? I don't remember that dog." I went to see the dog afterwards. I think I kind of badgered my mum for a long time, which is a thing we do in Offaly, where you go to the field and you kill a badger and you bring it home and you beat your mother with it until she gives in and does what you want. So we drove to the farmer's house, and Rusty came in. Rusty was his name because he was ginger, rusty coloured. I was a child. I didn't really have much of an imagination. He came in, he ran up to me, licked my face, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, I love you, Rusty, you lovely dog. I've missed you so much. You can lick my face," And in my head I'm thinking, yeah, he's been licking his genitals all day and now he's licking my face. And that's probably not acceptable from close family members, but this is a dog. And I was like, oh. And then I wanted to see him again. And then Mum said, "Oh, he died." I was like, what? Rusty's dead. How? He ate poison in a field. He went into a field that had poison in it. And I was like, huh? Why? What? Why would they poison a field? Was the field sick? Was it not going to make it? Did the field have a secret about the government, and the government agents didn't want anyone to know? And they thought the field was going to talk, so they poisoned the field. And then Rusty got caught in the crossfire, the poison fire. And yeah, so yeah, he died. And I said to my dad, I was talking to my dad yesterday, and I said, remember when, because I always believed that, but then I thought, maybe Mum was just saying that he died so I wouldn't keep asking to go and see him all the time. So I asked my dad last night, I confronted my father, and I said, on the phone, I said, "Father?" He said, "Yes, son." I said, "Father, did Mother lie about Rusty dying?" And he said, "Oh no, he was hit by a car." And I went, "What? I thought he was poisoned in the field." He said, "No, that was the previous dog that the farmer had." And he said, who, interesting enough, was also called Rusty. And I said, "That's not really that interesting, but what?" And I was thinking, this farmer is a fucking menace. 2 dogs under his stead have perished under, I'm going to say, suspicious circumstances. Cars driving on roads, poison fields. Dubious, apart from the car thing, which is completely normal. But yeah, so chatting to my dad, he sent me an email correcting something I said that was incorrect in the last podcast. I told you he would do that. And indeed, do that he did. He did do that. And do that he did. And I'm only pausing now and talking nonsense because I'm looking for the email. I could cut all this out, but I won't. So, yeah, my dad messaged me, "Hi, just listen to number 9. It was the locals who had to go at 10 and the patrons who lived 3 miles or more from the pub could stay till 12. I was like, okay, fair enough. And then one of the better ones, kiss, kiss. And they said the second one is for Cara. So first off, I'm going, all right, 2 kisses, 1 for Cara. It's nice, but stop kissing my wife. Get your lips off my wife. Is what I'm going to respond with. So yeah, so that's clearing up for anyone who's confused about me getting it wrong in the last podcast. Everyone's going, what? Who, man? Thanks to some people who listen to the end. You know who you are. Guys, what was I talking about there? Dogs. Yeah, so we're going to get a bloody Bichon Frise when this whole bloody thing is over. And we're going to bloody love the head off it. I think names, I'd like to name a dog after like a character from a movie. So you're thinking if you've got a boy dog, we call the dog Frodo. Because it'd just be nice, especially if the dog's in danger. I can go, Frodo! And talk about carrying the load, share the load. I could say that when the dog goes for a dump and I put it in the bag and said, here, I'll pick it up. I'll carry it for a while. Share the load. Lord of the Rings fun for you there. So guys, I'm going to try and sing me out. Does that even make sense? So I'm going to try something where I blend my voices together in glorious sweet harmony. Ooga chaka, ooga 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 chaka, ooga 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 chaka, ooga 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 chaka, ooga ooga. I can't stop this feeling deep inside of me. Girl, you just don't realize what you do to me. When you hold me in your arms so tight. You let me know everything's alright. I hooked on a feeling, Edwin Sammon of knowledge. I'm high on believing, Edwin Sammon of knowledge, that you're in love with me.